Hi everyone! This is a very quick tutorial going over some common mistakes I see when students are integrating evidence into their papers at this point in the course. And sometimes that just means an oversight when evidence could have been used to make a point stronger. So anytime a reader might ask how you know information is true that you've put into your essay, anytime they might ask where information came from, these are good indications that you might need to include some sources to support what it is that you've been saying. And remember, you want your sources to be credible, and this is something that if you need to go back to our e-learning material, it's reviewed there. So the first mistake I see, this is pretty common and this is an easy one to fix. This is sweeping claims and assumptions. So this pretty much means anytime you're making a statement that's based on your assumption or taking for granted that others will automatically understand what you're talking about or agree with your viewpoint. So the sentences there in gray, those are sentences that make sweeping claims or that make assumptions on behalf of the readers or the audience. And then the final sentence, the blue one with the plus sign, that's an example of how we can take that same concept and improve it by integrating evidence. So if I were to write, most people agree that children benefit from playing on youth sports teams, or everyone knows that children benefit from playing on sports teams. Both of these sentences can be improved because a very critical reader might ask, well, how do you know that most people agree on this? Did you take a poll? Did you conduct a survey? Did you find a poll or a survey that supports this statement? Because maybe most people don't agree. Maybe they want to point out some of the flaws of children working on sports teams or playing on sports teams. And someone else might ask, well, is it possible that just one person does not know about the benefits of playing on sports teams? And if there is just one person who wasn't aware of this, then your statement that everyone knows it is actually incorrect. So in order to avoid these kind of critical reading issues, you can actually integrate evidence to support what it is that you're saying. So that final sentence there with the plus sign, I'm telling my readers the same basic idea, but I'm giving them a very specific source to make my claim. So according to the Institute of Youth Health 2014, citing the source there, children who participate in youth sports are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle. So now not only have I integrated evidence from my research, I'm also explaining what I mean when I say that children benefit from this because I'm being more specific. I'm saying that youth sports, children who participate in youth sports, are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle. That's a more specific benefit than just saying benefits in general. Another mistake that I see pretty often is mentioning research without citation. And this is at least heading in the right direction because if you make this mistake, you're at least trying to refer to your research, but it might be a bit vague. So the gray sentence there can be improved if you were to write, research says that children benefit from playing on youth sports teams. If I see that sentence, I'm immediately going to ask, what research says this? What can you point to? And the blue sentence there with the plus sign, that's how we can improve that sentence. So according to research published by the Institute of Youth Health 2014, keep that citation there, children who participate in youth sports are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle. So I'm actually providing the research rather than vaguely alluding to the research. And finally, the third mistake that I see at least once every term is inflammatory language or tone. And I think that sometimes this happens without people even realizing it. It can be easy to get caught up in your topic if you're writing a persuasive essay about something you might be very passionate about, or perhaps it's a critical essay, some type of critical analysis where you're very convinced about your points, and maybe you didn't really give much thought to the tone or how your language is coming across. So those sentences in gray, we want to avoid these because they might offend your readers. You don't want to turn your readers away. So if I were to write, how could you possibly think spending time in a library is healthier than playing sports? That's not a very inviting question. It doesn't really invite debate. Similarly, everybody knows that sports are good for kids, and if you don't agree, then you're stupid. This really shuts down conversation. It doesn't welcome an academic discussion, so we want to avoid turning the audience away. One way you can do this, you can still make your point without offending your reader by pointing to your research and relying on that. So I could write, according to research published by the Institute of Youth Health, 2014, children who participate in youth sports for at least 2 hours each week are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle than children who spend that time in sedentary activity. I'm pretty much giving this same message. What I'm trying to say is that children who are active are more likely to have a healthy lifestyle than children who are not physically active. But I'm not judging my reader if perhaps he or she wasn't aware of this. I'm not assuming that everyone should know this, and if they don't agree, then there's something wrong with them. I'm relying on the research to explain and demonstrate why this perspective is the one that I'm supporting. So those are the 3 most common mistakes that I see when people are integrating evidence into their essays in the class. If you have any other questions or need help with this, you're always welcome to post to our general questions forum, or you can email me directly and I'll be happy to help you out.